Think so. I think we're going. Sweet. Everybody, welcome back to 2 for 1 Joe Live. It is Monday, 9 a.m., July 25th. My name is Donovan Thompson. And I'm here with my good friend, Luke Irvin. Luke, how's your morning going so far?
Hey, hey, hey. It is going pretty solid. Lots to talk about.
There is so much to talk about. This is probably the biggest news junk that we've had at 2 for 1 Joe Live. And of course, to celebrate how big it is, you can see right here in my docket how there's absolutely nothing on it, right? You can see all that. So it's so big. It couldn't even fit on the page. So, um, of course, CDCC just happened. I keep saying CDCC, SDCC. I did it like last week.
SDCC.
I did it last week too. I should just say San Diego Comic Con. That's what I should say. So Comic Con happened over the weekend. Of course, we've been leading up to this for quite a while now, and
Yep.
we had a lot of announcements. Some things leaked on Friday. I was on a small little mini vacay over the weekend, so I was kind of getting information from my normal sources. You were tagging me things on Facebook. Daniel and Travis were messaging me on things, and so I didn't really get to fully absorb it all until on my way back yesterday
Yeah.
and really sit there and think about it. And then even me and Daniel hung out a little bit last night, last minute, and we kind of talked a little bit more about kind of some of these things that are coming around the corner and just our general thoughts and impressions. So before we get into all that, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way, I've done all future episodes of 2 for 1 Joe live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central. Of course, we also have the podcast 2 for 1 at youtube.com/2for1studios and every podcast service you can possibly imagine. We do have a new podcast coming out this week where Dr. Bruce Hutchinson, Daniel Wingfield, and myself break down the Prestige. It'll be a great episode on a script analysis, so definitely check that one out. And of course, there's always more things to talk about in the future, like She-Hulk, which is right around the corner.
Yep.
So, Luke, how can our listeners find you and all the cool things that you do?
Yeah, definitely check out the Agents of Mace podcast. We're Marvel's ace content enthusiasts. Definitely this week we'll be talking about what we're about to talk about. So this is big news. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot to unpack here. So check out that podcast because we'll be talking about that, and we're also going to talk about the Hulk and the Incredible Hulk leading up to She-Hulk.
Ooh, I want to ask you a question about that in a second.
Of course.
So for the box office, Nope coming at 44 million. Solid opening for original R-rated property. It's I think the biggest since the pandemic has started, but
Mhm.
it did come shy of us, which I think opened around 71 or maybe the 68 million, somewhere around there. And this also has the biggest production budget of those three. I think no or Get Out actually like a $2.5 million budget, which is fucking crazy. When you say it out loud, I was like, how's that possible?
Wow.
And then Get Out had a $20 million budget. This one had
Mhm.
roughly, I think, maybe it was 68 or something like that. It
Mhm.
was a lot higher on the other end. I haven't seen it yet. I'm foaming at the mouth too. Luke, did you get a chance to watch it?
I did go see it. Yes.
Is it your
Yeah. You
favorite
can.
of the three?
I wouldn't say. I don't think it's my favorite of the three. That's a tough one. I don't know where I rank his three films just yet. But it's very
But
interesting watch.
is it a solid movie? Is it a good movie, or is it?
Yeah. Well, you'll definitely see some mixed reviews. I'm wondering if that's why it hurt the numbers here is because it did initially get a lot of mixed reviews, and there are some things in it I can see why like some people may or may not like it.
Hmm.
If you follow Jordan Peele's work, so much of it is there's particular messages or there's a purpose of why he's making these films, and there's certain subject matter he wants to talk about. This one, there's a few things that go on in it that you can really kind of dive deeper into, but I really liked it. Um, Let me know when you watch it because there's certain
I'm
things that I want to talk about, but can't without spoiling.
I'm dying to watch it, and I may catch it tonight or tomorrow night or something like that. I'm going to call some Matt and Daniel
S-
and see if
Side
they've
note,
seen it.
um,
Yeah.
I did watch The Gray Man over the weekend. I don't
How'd
know
you
if you've
feel?
watched that yet.
How'd you feel about that?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was solid action flick. I can see the silliness of, like, what a lot of people are kinda saying in their one-liners, but it didn't really bother me. I think it bothered me more just because I was reading some grievances people were having with the film, but, I really enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it as well.
Nice.
The thing is, I saw it Saturday night. Me and Kimberly watched it together. Um,
Mhm,
I have a very minor grievance with it, and it's at the very end of the movie.
mhm.
But overall, I was really digging it, and I
Yeah,
still really do like the movie. Um, I can't spoil the movie at the end, but I had a small minor grievance. I haven't heard anyone complain about the one-liners. The ones I did hear were I thought I loved it. I loved all that kind of stuff. The action, I like the characters,
yeah.
I like the set pieces. The story is it's fine. I mean, there's
This
a few interesting things that I would have done different, like just like
Yeah,
structurally.
sure.
But I think overall, like it could be my favorite Netflix movie, and
Eh,
but there's just one little thing I would have changed, which I'll tell you at the end when we're off
you can
the
tell me
air
at
when
the
we're done.
end. I
Yeah,
mean, the only thing I saw, and this is I don't think this is really spoiling at all, is just the amount of drone shots.
that was that. Okay, that's my second grievance, and it
Yeah,
could be my true one thing I actually don't like. The other thing is like a super big annoyance to me, but I can see how other people might be okay with what I find that's bad. The drone thing, I don't know how anyone could like it because
yeah,
it doesn't like I've only seen the first third of Ambulance. Don't ask me
yeah.
why only the first third. I want to watch it all.
Same. I fell asleep.
Yeah, it wasn't that I didn't like it. I just had other things going
Yeah,
on and I had to stop it. But
sure.
he uses those drone shots
Yeah,
in a like his movies are always like working with parallax images and like fast motion, and when he does them, it fits. When they
right,
do them,
right.
it does not fit at all,
Sure.
and it's kind of weird how they both come out the same year, same time, and
Yeah,
they both have this, and it's kind of like
yeah,
I don't know, and it just shows you like Michael Bay is he is good with that kind of stuff for a reason, and he kind of nailed it
right,
coming out of the gate. The Russos were trying to
right.
figure it out and didn't nail that. So
Yeah, not so much. There were some that I thought were that was cool. Others, I was like, "Did you really need it?" No.
there's some that are
Yeah,
interesting, but there's some others I'm like, I mean,
yeah,
they just take you out of the movie, and
sure.
absolutely. So, Nope come in at 44 million again. Thor: Love and Thunder had a decent drop at 168%. Like I have here, they actually had like a 51%, I think, this weekend
Mm,
drop, which isn't that bad. Actually, it's now caught back up. I think surpassing Thor: Ragnarok slightly.
mm,
So it came in at 46.6 million over. No, that's not right. Sorry. I think it came in like 20 something million. We'll say 20 million, but its box office is now at 598 million worldwide. Thor Ragnarok is sitting at 853. It looks like it's outpacing it like domestically barely.
mhm.
I just don't
Yeah.
know if it's going to worldwide make another $250 million. I just feel like that's not going to happen. I don't know.
I don't Yeah.
I mean,
I
I don't see how it's gonna I don't think it's possible personally. I mean, it's what
Yeah.
we're this is week 3 now, I guess, and we've hit
Yeah.
600,000,000.
I was gonna
It could
look to see
inch.
what's coming out this weekend. I know the next weekend's okay, so this weekend we've got DC League of Super Pets, but I know the
Yeah,
following weekend a lot of things are coming out.
really. Yeah, let me
Yeah,
know, and
a
as I will tell you
lot
about
of stuff's coming out.
Minions: Rise of Gru. Minions come in again at number 3rd place with 17.7 million, total $640 million box office. Again, it is right there at the halfway point of its predecessor, Minions, where it come in at $1 billion. So it's no way going to touch that. I mean, fuck Minions. I'm concerned about Thor. I just want to see Thor at least beat Ragnarok, even though it doesn't deserve it. Like I don't think it deserves to beat it. I just
Yeah,
hate seeing the MCU on a decline. But
right.
let's get into San Diego Comic Con 2022. So I want to start with DC first here because we have a lot more to talk about with Marvel. So coming into the weekend, I think I even shared a post. We all expected Henry Cavill to walk out on stage and be like, "Hey, I am your Man of Tomorrow, and I am making a Man of Steel movie, and I am going to fight Black Adam at some point." Now, that didn't happen. We did get from DC panel a whopping 2 trailers. We got Black Adam, a minute long sneak peek, and we got also a full Shazam trailer. Um, I loved both of these trailers. I particularly loved the Shazam one because Fury of the Gods. I'm just a huge Shazam fan of the original movie that came out a few years ago. I still think it could be my favorite DCEU movie just because it shows me what the universe could be. It's solid. It's got a good it's everything about it I just enjoy. It's not like the best movie ever made, but like it
Mhm.
just shows me the potential that DC has. Black Adam, it showed kind of more of the things I kind of wanted from the first trailer, right? We saw more of the JSA. We saw more of Black Adam being kind of a hard ass. Um, I liked all that kind of stuff. So that's all fun and dandy. We didn't see the Flash, which was expected. We did see the Flash
In the
inside the
Shazam
Shazam
trailer,
trailer.
which also, you only see the body, never see his face,
Never see his
that
face.
which feels purposeful.
Yeah, and they show footage from Zack Snyder's Justice League from that. It wasn't I'm pretty sure it wasn't even footage from the Whedon cut because they're colored different. I think it was
Yeah,
footage from Zack's version, which is interesting.
probably. Yeah.
So it was a little darker and more muted. So
Yep.
they had footage from that. They had footage from Aquaman, and they had footage from it may have been Zack's version again from Batman or from Justice League for Batman,
Mhm,
which is interesting because like
mhm.
they are still acknowledging the Snyderverse, even though Jim Lee just come out and said, "Hey, the Snyderverse it had its thing, it's done.
Yeah.
We're not doing it anymore." Which we can talk about that report also. I think we talked about last week a little bit, but
Mhm.
that report kind of come out on the Snyder bots and everything else.
Yep.
So we had the Shazam trailer was great. I loved it. What do you think about that?
Um, I I think we're on the same page, like, Shazam for the DCEU is definitely high on my list.
Yeah,
This definitely looks like a fun movie. I don't think it excited me as much as, like, the first Shazam, just there's a lot going on, it feels, and just some of the casting and just I don't know, some seems kinda interesting to me, but, I'm gonna watch it for sure.
yeah.
Um, I'm
I mean,
very
I
curious to
already own
see,
it.
like
I've already pre-ordered it, dude, on Blu-ray. So
of
I mean,
course.
so it's already coming, man.
Very curious to see how, you know, these other characters are gonna play in, especially Superman. Like, I wanna see Superman in this, just some kind of real appearance and real,
Yeah.
like, team
Well,
up or something.
let's put Superman on the back burner for 1 second.
Sure.
We'll get to him in a second. Let's talk real quick about. I mean, we have Aquaman coming out this fall.
Mhm.
There is nothing shown for Aquaman. We have Batgirl in the can. We know it's not coming to HBO Max anymore. It's coming next year now. We know
Mhm.
theatrically it's coming to the UK, which isn't out of the norm because they don't have HBO Max yet.
Right.
But we don't have even a single promotional image of Michael Keaton as Batman from that movie. There's absolutely no mention of the Flash, which was kind of expected, right? We kind of
Mhm.
knew that was going to
Sure.
happen. We don't have any mention of Wonder Woman 3, Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot. Like not even like, hey, here's a production start date, or hey, here's the writers, or
Yeah.
hey, I mean, and like I think have already announced the writers when a year or
Mhm.
so ago, but nothing, not even concept art. Of course, The Rock was there,
Yeah.
and he got booed because they asked him who would win in a fight, Superman or Black Adam. He said, "Well, it depends on who's playing Superman." That's what he
Oh my
says, and they booed him, and it tells me. And so, like, what do you think of all this? Like, why couldn't Warner Brothers? Why do they only? Are they just trying to? They didn't even talk about Joker 2. They didn't talk about the Batman 2. They could have said, "Hey, here's our start date for Batman 2." They could have. I mean, like, I know they announced the Batman 2 just like a month or two ago,
yeah.
but they didn't do nothing like that. They didn't have Matt Reeves come out and celebrate the Batman and like thank you for maybe he's working, I get it, but like
Sure.
this is the first San Diego Comic Con since 2019, and they did not come out swinging. I liked what they showed, but they showed a mere fraction. about Marvel doing.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on why are these things not on here? Why are they not on the panel? I don't get it.
I mean,
I
my
get the
my
Flash.
mind yeah. So, I mean, a lot it's my mind's just like this is like very political. It's just kind of like behind the scenes what's going on. Like like I mean, mm, I really don't know why they wouldn't show anything or address certain things. Like
Maybe I'm
why not
wrong. I
have
mean, did you hear anything about these movies? I'm pretty sure I would have heard
well,
about them.
this is where and this is like the one area I'm fuzzy on cuz I was like surely there had to be more for the DCEU there just because um I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know why they would show so little,
The only mention of Peacemaker was at the Marvel panel when
really.
James Gunn brought out, I can't think of his name, but the guy who is the leader of Peacemaker, who is the High Evolutionary in Guardians
Yeah.
3, he said, "You may know him from Peacemaker." Kevin Feige standing right next to James Gunn as he says this.
Hmm.
That's the only mention of Peacemaker. We know season 2 is coming. Like, they've announced that. They didn't say anything about, "Hey, here's John Cena wasn't there to celebrate Peacemaker and its success. Like, John Cena could have come out in full garb like
That's
he loves to do a million
yeah,
times, and with a fake eagle on his hand and been like, "Guys, we're gonna get ready to shoot season 2. It's gonna be awesome. Are you excited for that?" Everyone would have loved that.
yeah. That would've seeing him come on stage, like, behind The Rock, like, in full costume, that would've made the crowd go insane. Why? I
They would
don't know
have
why they
loved it.
wouldn't.
Yeah, and maybe The Rock was, and maybe here's a suggestion. It might be crazy. Maybe The Rock was like, "Hey, I'm the face of the DCEU now. I want this to be about Black Adam, and I want
Mhm.
this to be about Shazam, which I'm producing." He produced the first Shazam, and they're
Yeah,
highly intertwined in terms of characters.
right.
Maybe he was the driving force behind this. I don't want you guys to talk about none of this stuff. Let's focus on these 2 properties. It's what's coming out this year, and it'll be enough. Maybe The Rock, and that I feel like The Rock is in that position where he can kinda demand that kinda stuff.
Yeah.
And then they got their ass handed to them, which we're fixing to talk about here shortly. I mean, and there was even more reports, and granted, this is gonna happen until the end of time. We've had multiple conversations now about Henry Cavill's involvement as Superman in the DCEU.
Yeah.
Like, there was reports after his, non-show about, like, how Henry actually doesn't want to be Superman, of course, and how, like, Warner Brothers is trying to get him back,
Mhm.
and all these other things. Like, David Zaslav is trying to, give him deals, like, the number's not high enough, he doesn't have as much
Mhm.
creative control as he wants, all these other things. I just don't understand. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
These
And
are things we need to be the fly on the wall to, like, really know what they're talking about.
100%. I was, as I was sitting here daydreaming on my drive back from Fayetteville, my 3-hour drive, I was sitting there thinking about the MCU in general, and I was kinda
Mhm.
catching up and I was rereading the things I'd already read the night before, but just kinda immersing myself even more, and I was having a great time fantasizing about all these things we're fixing to talk about. My mind kept drifting over to DC, and I kept thinking, "Man, look at just Green Lantern by itself."
Yeah.
Like, I could make a whole universe just about the Green Lantern movie. Like, I could do a Green Lantern movie. I could do you have, 4, 5, 6 different Green Lanterns that are popular. You
Mhm.
have the Sinestro Corps War, where he fights the Yellow Lanterns. Then you can have fucking and through that, you can bring in other DC characters like Superboy
Mhm.
Prime, or you can make Batman a Yellow Lantern or whatever. Then you can go into Blackest Night, where then you can kill off heroes and you can bring them back as zombies and have
Mm.
all the different colored Green Lanterns. Can you imagine seeing the Flash as fucking a Blue Lantern in a movie? Can you imagine seeing Superman as, I don't know, a Red Lantern? I mean, you can make him.
Yeah.
Let's not make him red because he's been fucking bad more than he's been good lately. But you know
Sure.
what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
possibilities there of coolness are just like, I don't understand. It blows my fucking mind of where of watching even Marvel in their missteps, at least like how
Mhm.
I've been feeling and maybe how you've been feeling. in the
Yeah.
last phase compared to what we've gotten previously. At least they're trying. At least they're actually putting things out and they're experimenting with form and they're experimenting with
Yeah.
TV. And so they're still trying to they're getting their feet wet. These are wildly
Mhm.
different avenues and mediums and they got to make more content. So you got to I give them a little grace there.
Mhm.
DC, it's like, and granted, the Ezra Miller issue, that's not on them. I don't think personally. I think if that
Yeah.
hadn't happened, the Flash would have been just as big a presence there as the other two,
Sure.
maybe more so. I guarantee you Michael Keaton would have walked out on stage, and everyone would
Yeah.
have lost their goddamn mind. He would have said, "I'm Batman." Like he would have said that, and then everyone would have fucking flipped out, and then we would have saw maybe the
Yeah.
first official image of Michael Keaton as Batman or some footage of him.
Gosh.
That would have happened this year. It was the time to do it was this year, you know,
Yeah. I
because
mean,
especially
and
we've had footage the last 2 years of the Flash and not this year. So it just tells you right there what's happening internally for Warner Brothers.
yeah.
There was footage last year of Aquaman and granted, here's the
Mhm.
thing. I'm now thinking of this. Yes, there is a thing called DC fandom.
Mhm.
And DC fandom is kind of their big Comic Con. And they kind
Right.
of want that to be, hey, it's and maybe the thing is like I don't fully doubt that they have information. Like, there's people that probably insiders will be like, "Hey, Marvel's going to announce a lot this year.
Mhm.
You have like 4 or 5 movies, but no matter what you do, you're going to be overshadowed a little bit.
Mhm.
Maybe just show a few things and then blow them out for DC fandom." I can see that strategy. I can see that.
Sure.
So maybe that's the plan. Maybe
But
just
even
save it for
still, it would have been, I think, more respectful for, like, the new their new kind of person leading charge to come out there and address certain things like, "Hey, we know a lot's been going on. We will have answers. It's gonna happen here."
yeah, I
Just
agree.
to set those expectations.
Yeah. There's going to be a thousand rumors back and forth between now and DC fandom whether
Mhm.
Henry Cavill's gonna be Superman, which is fine. Again,
Yeah.
I think like the fever pitch for him to return is I haven't seen I don't think I've seen a want so bad in the comic fandom in terms of
Yeah.
like we want this character to return.
Mhm.
At least this particular actor playing this particular character.
Yeah.
Maybe not even Chris. I mean, Chris Evans. Then like we got so much of him that was good and great and like satisfying that like if he didn't, it's like okay, like we got it. Like
Sure.
we did it. We did the job here, Chris. You did
Yeah.
the job, and we got to enjoy it. We haven't gotten yet the Man of Steel that we hope and dream of. I don't think,
No, not
but
yet.
we know it's possible. So maybe DC fandom's the answer. I don't know. I still
I would
enjoy what they
hope so.
showed. I still enjoy what they showed. And
Uh, they also announced, 4 animated projects.
are they the like not like DC League of Super Pets? Are they more so like the
This
home releases?
the, RWBY Justice League, Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham, Legion of Superheroes, and Justice League Warworld.
War World, interesting. I know, which we'll talk about it later today on Blu-ray.com. The Green Lantern Beware My Power dropped today,
Oh,
so
nice.
it's getting pretty bad reviews, but
But
still,
seeing
that's
seeing,
one.
like, the animated projects and circling back to, like, something you kind of teased at earlier, like, how awesome would it have been if you got, like, Keaton, Affleck, Conroy, and, Pattinson to just, like, come out, like, 4 Batmen, like, to hype up,
Ye-
like, just Batman
Yeah, yeah, it
in
would
the
have been fucking
well
wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would have happened? My head would have popped off. Is what would have happened,
yeah,
Luke. I mean, eh, that would be cool, especially if they were leading to something. I mean,
yeah,
again, it's so hard because the Flash is supposed to be this palate cleanser. It's supposed to
sure,
be this idea of like, hey, here's where the universe is going, right? And I feel like the Flash, it's been delayed multiple times. It was supposed to come out, I think, even before Black Adam at one point, and then Black
mm,
Adam kind of got up before it. So, I mean, if to me, Peacemaker feels like a post-Flash world almost. So does the
yeah,
Suicide Squad.
right,
It feels that way because the world is so different there than it is in, like, say, Justice League, either
Mhm.
version, because there's no superheroes other than these 4 and 5, and all of a sudden there's, like, we've talked about this, you and I personally, about how the technology in the world is so much different in the
Mhm.
Gunverse versus the Snyderverse, right? And, like, versus how, like, Marvel has been building up to these things. DC just, like, jumped ship because Gunn said so, you know? So I think the Flash is still kind of holds the answers. I mean, again, I think they're going to release Batgirl before the Flash comes out,
That's
and
the way it's seeming.
it's
Looks
going to be
like.
like, oh, there's Michael Keaton as Batman. I'm here for it, but it's like, what's happening here? So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They really, I think they should have stuck with the Flash. I mean, again, maybe they shouldn't have because of Ezra Miller, but I think they should have stuck with the Flash release date this year and just bit the
Yeah.
bullet, got it over with. They could have
Yeah.
reshot the ending. Fuck them. They can at least reshoot the ending where he time travels and comes back to a new universe and he looks different. They could do that anytime.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't think that's that hard. As even someone who doesn't do that stuff, I think that's very possible with their resources.
Right.
But I do think they need to get it out so they can kind of move on. Start working on
Mhm.
the Flash too. Working on Michael Keaton as more Batman. I mean, also, how does he feel? Like with
Yeah.
him coming back and it's gonna be tainted by this dickhead young actor, and then they're gonna set. What I'm saying, like, it's
And, like,
ridiculous.
that question I am expecting is going to be asked a lot and rather soon. It's just probably one of those behind the scenes, like, they gotta get the right answer for him. So
They've had a long. This is the
and
longest I've
they've
ever
had a
seen a
long
company.
time. Yeah.
They've commented more on Zach not being the director or
Mhm.
his vision not coming out for the DC. Like, they've been open about that, and like and Variety dropping these pieces about like that's also like sanctioned by like Warner Brothers
Yeah.
has to give them information. They don't have
Mhm.
to. Warner Brothers is choosing to give them information on like the details of their findings for these bots. Like, they're
Yeah.
doing that to kind of silence certain expectations and other articles from popping up about where the universe is going. They're doing that
Yeah.
willingly, but they're not talking actively not talking about Ezra Miller for 3 or
Mhm.
4 months now, since the beginning of Two for One Joe Live. We talk about this every goddamn week,
Yeah.
and I'm ready to type in the headline: Ezra Miller is out
Yeah.
as the Flash.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that headline to type out, and I still haven't gotten to do that yet.
Yeah, I think we
Let's
need
talk.
we need that more than hearing about The Rock being asked if Kevin Hart's jealous. Like,
Who said that?
that's just the headlines. I know he was questioned from audience members about, like, just his. Yeah, we don't need
Really?
that. Yeah,
I mean, I won't slide this like the Kevin Hart The Rock dynamic. It's fun and
it
cute,
is,
but
but
I'm also, like, really tired of it. It's like
yeah,
it's worse than Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, like, and they're actually cute together. I
yeah,
I think it's like, man, I don't know if I wanna see these guys in every movie together. Like, it's
all right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're in, like, at least 5 movies together. At
Yeah.
least. Central Intelligence, Jumanji 1, 2, League of Super Pets, and, Hobbs& and Shaw. That's 5 right
Mhm.
there, just top of my head. I I hope to fucking God Kevin Hart's not in Black Adam as some fucking rando superhero. Like, I do not want him in this movie. I cannot take him seriously. Even in,
Yeah.
like, fucking Hobbs& and Shaw, where he's a funny man in that movie, but he's trying to be hard and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I can't do it. I don't know. I can't do it. Now that I can't believe I haven't thought of that. Now I'm just expecting Kevin Hart to be in the fucking DCU as somebody, and I do not want that day to happen. Okay, so
Yeah. It's
um,
kinda crazy.
let's
Well,
switch
yeah,
o- let's switch over to
let's switch
Marvel
over.
here. So I got this graphic here pulled up already.
Mm.
Kevin Feige walked out on stage and he said, "Hey, look, um, it's been a long time since I've been at San Diego Comic Con. We're not going to announce everything that we have to announce that we're working on, but we're going to announce a lot of stuff and give you a roadmap to the MCU." And he's been kind of saying this for a little bit, like, "Hey, the last couple of weeks or last month, like the plan will be clear soon." Kind of feel like people like he has heard or felt the presence of like fans being like, "Hey, where's this all going? There's a lot of
Mhm.
content, but we don't know where things are going." So Kevin not only came out and said, "Hey, here's the end of Phase 4." He also said, "Here's what Phase 5 looks like, and here is the capstones of Phase 6." So Phase 4 actually ends with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever this November. Before then, which the last show we have this year on Disney Plus, last true show we have is She-Hulk:
Mhm.
Attorney at Law.
Mhm.
So let's talk about that first. So She-Hulk, the new trailer I thought was great.
Yep.
Of course, you know, there's a lot of things happening here. One, we know she's representing Amelia Blonsky, which is AKA the Abomination. We also get Wong, right? Multiverse of Wong,
Mhm.
baby. Wong's in everything now. We get Wong in there. We also see that he's looking at artifacts that look similar to Shang-Chi's artifact in Legend of the Ten Rings.
Mhm.
It also looks similar to the bangle in Miss Marvel. We also know, if you look here at this graphic, at the end, Thunderbolts is happening. Guarantee right now, if I can say there's one character going to be in Thunderbolts, at least one, I can guarantee probably 4 or 5. I can
Yeah.
guarantee one, it's going to be Amelia Blonsky, aka Abomination, is going to be in the
Mm.
Thunderbolts. I guarantee that shit. And then also we had my boy Charlie Cox as Daredevil appearing at the very end of it in a fucking sweet ass costume,
Yep.
reminiscent of his original costume from the comics.
Yeah.
That trailer alone, I was like, you probably could have just had that for Comic Con, and I would probably been okay with it because not only does it connect to Shang Chi,
Mhm.
Doctor Strange, Miss Marvel, Thunderbolts, Hulk, She Hulk, and like that one show feels like it's starting to kind of pull these other things together.
Mhm.
And we get my boy Daredevil. What do you think about She Hulk, Luke?
Um, yeah. I As the trailer released, I was sitting on the couch with the family, watched it in that very last scene.
I did too,
Yeah,
man. I was like,
just like,
"Whoa!"
oh, I was just like freaking out.
Yeah, it
My
looks
kids were
so
like,
good.
"What are you watching?"
Yeah, I'm sure. I was with Kimberly, and I was like, and she has no idea about any of this kind of stuff. She
Yeah.
she doesn't watch any of it. She's totally out of it. And I was just like, "Oh my god, it's Daredevil!" And she had no
Yeah.
idea, why this was an important thing. And I had to
I'm
explain to
pretty
her
sure I'm pretty
Daredevil,
sure I screamed.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I screamed, "I knew it. I knew he'd be
yeah,
in that."
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were Leonardo DiCaprio pointing right there, like, "Hey, there's our boy." So
Yep.
like alone feels like it made me feel that trailer element made me feel better about the universe. It kind of felt like, okay, there is these things that are connecting a little bit, and it feels like Wong is even like more so a driving force of like connecting all these things. So
Yeah.
that's happened. They actually ended the panel with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and I've watched the trailer probably about 3 or 4 times now. The trailer is a pretty solid trailer. It's pretty
Yeah.
fucking good. It's
Mhm.
shot beautifully. Looks like the performances are incredible. It looks like they're really it's hard to know when they're acting, when they're not, of when
Right.
the pain of losing Chadwick Boseman that we've all felt now, like he's our
Yeah.
T'Challa. It feels like
Mhm.
they're really carrying that into production and really using that as a driving force, which why wouldn't you? And
Mhm.
it looks like it's gonna be a very emotional movie. And as we've reported previously, Namor is
Mhm.
going to be the antagonist of the movie. There might be someone else pulling the strings. We don't know yet, but we probably know. And
Have a hope.
yeah, I mean, it's like Godzilla versus Kong. Who's playing Mecha Godzilla? That's the
Yeah.
question of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's like Batman v Superman. Who's playing Doomsday? Who's playing Lex Luthor?
Mhm.
So you know, my only fear of this movie is the one that I think is going to come true, which I think Shuri will be Black Panther. And I feel like that last shot to me solidifies it. Daniel and Travis, I think, or maybe Daniel wasn't very like that could be anybody. I'm like, it looks
It
like
could be
Shuri to me.
anybody.
It looks like
Yeah.
it could be. It could be a Koya. It could be whatever. But I think it's Shuri. It looks like Shuri. It's like her body type to me. It's
Mhm.
definitely a female. And even merchandise that just dropped like yesterday after their panel, Shuri has the biggest head on the merchandise, like concept art next to Namor. She seems like the logical choice. She's also
Yeah.
Black Panther in the comics. There's been
Mhm.
other Black Panthers, but if they're going to do it, they're going to probably give it to her. I'm not saying she'll keep it. I'm not saying it won't go to
Yeah.
somebody else, but I think
Right.
she'll be the one that at least walks away with it at the end of this movie.
Hmm.
What's your thoughts on Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
Oh, emotional for sure. I agree. Like the trailer looks incredible. It's exciting to see, this vision, especially bringing in Namor and just this whole other world and seeing these two worlds collide and fight. But even with all of that, with kind of what we've been getting in phase 4, I'm still at least going in nervous, hoping that this movie is good. Like we need a solid closeout to phase 4 leading into phase 5 that isn't going to drain the confidence of where all of this is going.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with you. I think here's a weird thing. They said Wakanda Forever ends Phase 4. They didn't
Mhm.
talk about the other 2 projects that are coming out this year.
Yeah.
That is October, Werewolf by Night, which has already wrapped shooting. I think it wrapped or maybe not wrapped, but it was supposed to be shooting in April. Maybe it did wrap. I mean, Michael Giacchino, the director,
Mhm.
who is the composer of the Batman and other things, he said that in June it's a really challenging process, but he's been enjoying working through it. We also know that the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, or not Volume 3, but the holiday special is coming
Yeah.
out in December or Christmas time. That's after Phase 4, before the proposed Phase 5. So I wonder why they didn't talk about
Sh
those or
Yeah.
didn't, like, include those in the slate. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
they
sure.
are hour specials, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I thought that was kinda interesting choice, and they are coming out because also Guardians has to come out before Volume 3 because it takes place before Volume 3. It takes place between Thor: Love and Thunder and Volume 3, actually. It's been confirmed by
Mm.
James Gunn. So, that's interesting. But yeah, I think Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, it looks great. I'm really hoping Ryan Coogler can give us something incredible, something
Yeah.
amazing, gives us new avenues to the MCU, different corners, so to speak. And I'm hoping, I mean, no matter what, it will never be the movie I wanted because Chadwick won't be there. But
Right.
maybe they can do the best they can with the things they got. And that's all I think
Yeah.
any of us can hope for. So I'm
Yep.
at this point,
Yep.
I still think they shouldn't have picked Shuri. And I'm not saying they did, it just feels like they did.
It feels like they
But
did, yeah, 'cause, I had the thought of, like, could we see Michael B. Jordan's character coming back in any way?
I think he will be back. I think he will be probably in the Nether realm area or
Mhm.
the Panther dream world.
Right.
I bet money
Right.
he'll be in there, and I bet money he'll give Shuri some advice
Mhm.
instead of Chadwick, which will be
Yeah.
interesting as to explain why he wasn't there. Which I mean, we know why he's not there, but how do you do
Yeah.
that narratively in universe? I don't know.
Right. Right.
So I think he'll make an appearance. I have no doubt about that in my
Yeah.
mind. I still like the idea of him becoming the new Black Panther, but also see why you wouldn't do that. So, but
Sure. Sure.
um, especially, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people that would be like, "Hey, why give it to another man when there is a potential female candidate right there?" I
Mhm.
get that, um,
Mhm.
but I just don't think Shuri is ready just yet. And maybe the movie will be about her not being ready, but trying anyway.
Yep.
So what was interesting though that we kind of okay, Phase 4 is ending. Like we didn't really
Mhm.
expect. I thought Phase 4 was going to end like 2020, 4 or 5 or something like that. But they're kind of like, hey, no,
Mhm.
it's like these are shorter phases, right? Feige did come out and say today, actually, kind of like we looked at it. There's a lot more content squeezed into these phases, and
Mhm.
they're kind of positioning these as. I think they also like the idea of like these Avengers film instead of capping off phases, they cap off like trilogies of phases, or they kind of cap off like
Yeah.
a big saga, so to speak. So Phase 5, we know Quantum Mania is the start of that, and of course
Mhm.
we have official concept art of Kane the Conqueror. We know Cassie. Um, she's going to be the third new person who can shrink down,
Mhm.
and we know that the whole team is coming back with Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas, Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd. We know that Kane the Conqueror will be there. We know MODOK will be in the movie, and we also know that Bill
Yeah.
Murray will be in there somehow. He's probably voicing MODOK, but we
Yeah.
don't know exactly who he's playing.
Mhm.
So that's going to kick it off, right? And it seems like that will be our lead in to the end of Phase 6, which of course we'll talk about in a minute with Kang. Of course, we have
Mhm.
Secret Invasion. It's already been shot. It's already in the can. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, already shot, already in the can. Echo is being shot right now, I believe, or in production pretty soon. We know that Kingpin and Daredevil are going to be in that.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that reason alone. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
really care about an Echo TV show. I'm not sure who wants that, but
Which I
whatever.
thought they had renamed Echo, but I guess they're keeping Echo?
Mhm. They're
Okay.
keeping it, yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested of, like, I don't know, just that's the weird and that was, like, never on the release date or on the schedule a couple years ago, and
Mhm.
then they kinda announced it during Hawkeye,
Mhm.
and I feel like they must have, like someone must have pitched something, and they're like, "Oh, this is a good idea. It's another way we can kind
Yeah.
of bridge Daredevil back into the universe."
Yep.
So Loki season 2, which is in production right now, which will kind of carry on the TVA, Mobius, and Kang multiverse storyline. So that's going to another thread happening there. The Marvels,
Mhm.
which we just got teased in Miss Marvel, which will bring
Mhm.
back Monica Rambeau, Miss Marvel, and Captain Marvel. And then, of course, we got official release date for Blade, November 3rd, 2023, which I fully expect that we will see Dane Whitman's The Black Knight in that movie. I
Yep.
don't know that for sure, but I would just think based on the Eternals, based on the after credit sequence, we're going to get him in some form in that movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like in Werewolf by Night, we might get Blade in that. We might get Moon Knight in that. We could get Moon Knight and Blade. Um,
Mhm.
because like we're going to all granted we have some dates coming up. I'm gonna be blank here in a second, but um, Moon Knight, they had no more information on that. So either he's going to be in one of these other properties, or he's going
Mhm.
to um, be in a second season of TV or so, something like that.
Mhm.
Ironheart, which we did see in um, Wakanda Forever, we saw the actress playing Riri Williams, and we saw her
Mhm.
hitting out a literal iron heart, just like Tony did in the cave so many
Yep.
years ago. Um, I couldn't give two shits about Ironheart personally, but I'm hoping it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about it. Agatha, Coven of Chaos, winter 2023, 2024. They're giving themselves some grace there, a little leeway of when it will come out. It
Mhm.
was originally House of Darkness was the original subtitle. Now it's Coven of Chaos. I do
Mhm.
wonder now that Scarlet Witch is presumably dead. I wonder if that's weakened the spell that had her encapsulated, and now she's
Mm.
free of that spell. And I also wonder, will this bring back Scarlet Witch in some way? Will Agatha go out to find the Scarlet Witch again? Is the
Probably.
Scarlet Witch actually dead? I don't know.
Uh,
Do you think she's dead?
I think Agatha's gonna go try to find her.
I think they she did not get a good story arc in Multiverse of Madness, and
Yeah.
we did. Yeah, we can talk about that all day long, but where's White Vision at in all this? Actually, White Vision
Exactly.
is probably coming up here in a second. Actually, let me get into that. I just thought about that. Daredevil, Born Again, 18 episode
Oh,
show.
yes.
What does that mean? So all these shows have been 6 episodes so far. This is 3 seasons of television. Is it also like 30-minute episodes? Is it hour-long episodes?
Yeah, that's the question right there. Are these gonna be short form episodes, or are we gonna get, like, hour length
And it's
like that?
spring 2024, which means they'll probably be shooting this fall or next spring.
Yep.
And so one good thing is they're really like I feel like in the first time in a while they are ahead of the curve. Like they're not working. They don't look like they're working up to the last second. And I'm sure they will be. Visual effects houses will be. But like, look right now, Quantumania. It's been in the can for a while. Secret Invasion's in the can. Guardians in the can. Echo in the can. Loki shooting right now, and Loki's in summer of a year from now, and it's a TV show. Like I mean, like
Yeah.
they're kind of like slightly ahead, and it must feel good for Marvel to be like, okay, we have these 4 or 5 projects already done,
Mhm.
like physically done, shooting, and they can kind of be working on these other things, right? We don't. Captain America comes out in 2 years,
Yep.
and they're fixing to start shooting relatively soon in the next 4 or 5 months, in 3 or 4 months. So like it's a pretty good leeway, right? Like I feel like we're the first time in a while we're kind of they're not just like working at the last second.
Mhm.
But Daredevil, so maybe that much time can give them 18 episodes, and, like, also 18 episodes, what does that mean? I just don't know, like, that is a lot. Is
Yeah,
that must be every week? I mean, that's 18 weeks of content if they and I'm sure the first week will be 2 episodes, right? Like, that will be
probably, yeah.
whatever it is. If they're 30 minutes, it could be if it's 30 minutes, it could be 3 episodes. If they're
Yeah.
whatever, but either way, it's at least 15 weeks of content for Disney Plus.
Like, the people who get the early reviewers that have this access, like, I'm curious to how many episodes they'll be granted before this
Mm,
releases.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's spring 2024, which means it couldn't get here fast enough. And to me,
Yep.
it's like Charlie Cox, like, I don't see him going away as Daredevil for a while, and I cannot
Yeah.
wait for wherever else he pops up in the universe.
Yeah.
And he
Oh, yeah.
and so, like, which brings me to this, Captain America: New World Order, which last night I started kind of watching. I've been watching scenes of Falcon Winter Soldier again lately. I actually really like a lot of things about that show, and I've been
Same.
watching more of it. And New World Order is also I didn't know this till last night. I was looking on Disney Plus. It's the name of the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier is New World Order,
Mm.
and that comes out May 3rd, 2024. It's going to pick up with Sam and Bucky,
Mhm.
presumably Bucky, and be like fought, continue that story of Sam taking on the mantle of Captain America. So I'm super excited for that one. I think the show should have been a movie from the get go. The same
Yeah.
writer, the showrunner is the writer for this. The director, I'm kind of more worried about,
Mhm.
but we'll kind of see what happens there. Thunderbolts, they're kind of really positioning this as a big tentpole movie, and another thing too is that Feige also said like a lot of these movies are tentpole movies already. Like Thor had the Guardians in it. Thor had multiple
Mhm.
Thors. Even though I would argue that one wasn't as successful at doing it. The Marvels has Monica Rambeau, Miss Marvel, and Captain Marvel. Captain
Mhm.
America will probably have, like Blade will have probably the Black Knight, maybe Moon Knight, definitely Blade. And so
Yeah.
like these movies are becoming tent poles in themselves, right? So Thunderbolts, it feels like this is like they're it's like the new Avengers. Like it's going to be a big movie, but particularly about the villains, whatever. And I suspect there will
Yeah.
be a few good guys in there as well. Probably a lot of cameos. It's probably like a Civil
Sure.
War situation where there's going to be a lot of different people in it, and maybe following a few key characters though. Um, we could see Daredevil in the Thunderbolts. I don't really expect that, but it could be possible.
Could be.
Um, Bucky could be in the Thunderbolts. Again, we've talked about this recently. I think it's definitely going to be Abomination,
Yep.
probably Taskmaster, could be Ghost from Ant Man and the
Yep.
Wasp. She could make an appearance. It could also because she kind of just left and hasn't returned. It could also be Bucky could be in it. Definitely U.S.
Mhm.
agent, 100% is going to be in that.
US agent for sure.
I suspect if Taskmaster is not going to be in it, then Yelena will not be in it. I feel like she might be
Mhm.
just an Avenger.
Mm.
Um, I don't know that though. So I feel like it's going to
You
be.
think Yelena would go in the Avenger route?
Well, that's the kicker though. Like the Avengers, it
Yeah.
doesn't. I don't know. It feels like that's going to be like an end game, right? Where you
Right.
had every character ever there at the end. Like, oh, we're all christened Avengers now, right? Because
Mhm.
we're avenging at the moment. But like to me,
Mhm.
the Avengers was the core team. Like that's the
Yeah.
actual Avengers. Not even
Mhm.
Black Panther was an actual Avenger, right?
Right.
So I suspect she could be an actual Avenger. I don't know. I
Mm.
don't know, and I don't know. That's a tricky one. I feel like they really kind of her role in Hawkeye was not great. Like they
Yeah.
really like that's one of those things where it's a problem in stories where this particular issue can be fixed with a simple conversation and no one's saying that conversation, even though it's easy to say. There's plenty of time to say it. Hawkeye
Mhm.
can easily be like, "Hey, your sister jumped off the ledge. I tried to stop her." He could have
Mhm.
said it a lot faster than he did, So,
Oh, yeah.
and also, I don't know. There's a lot of things like that. It's like this is kind of weird. She was great in Black Widow. I thought she was fantastic in Black Widow. I just think it wasn't her fault for Hawkeye, but I still think that things should have been better for her.
Yeah.
So Thunderbolts will be a big movie, right? So I'm excited for that as well. And then one second, Multiverse Saga. So of course we also have Phase 6 was announced. And there's a lot of flag planting here, but they did say it will
Mhm.
open November 8th, 2024. So roughly a year and a half away, which isn't that long, but it's still a little
Yeah.
distance away with Fantastic
Yep.
Four. And it will end with two Avengers movies, Avengers the Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. So right now is a time where my shades should come on to me and I get to like do this and like point like I've been telling you for a while now what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. And if you believe me, then good on you. If you didn't, you're a fucking idiot. So here's the thing. It looks like to me, saying these three like this, and they're so close together. Like November to May,
Right.
that's only 8 months, and of course, there's like a even a 4 or 5 month gap between May and November. I
Yeah.
feel like Fantastic Four is like the beginning of this trilogy. It feels like Phase 6 is just really these three. I mean, I know it's not, but
Yeah.
I feel like these flags here are probably more Disney Plus than they are movies. I don't know that, but Phase 6 is
Mm.
only. I mean, it's a year. Phase 6 is only a year long,
Yeah.
and it feels like Phase 6 is like a finale. Like they're using
Mhm.
like the actual phase itself is like the end cap to the saga,
Yep.
right? And so that's an interesting approach. I'm totally down for. I think it makes it feel like Phase 4 and 5 is all build up, and then Phase 6 is like the cool down, right?
Mhm.
But I think Fantastic Four is the start, right? And again, I think 100%. Obviously, the Avengers Kang Dynasty will be all the threads of the multiverse, and that will spill over into Doctor Doom creating Battle World to save the universe. In his mind, to save the universe, our universe, from the incursions that we got from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Mhm.
It will be from that, and it will make Secret Wars. I guarantee. Well, I don't know. It's 2022 right now. It's very possible that one of these movies is Doctor Strange 3 that deals with the incursions that
Yep.
leads right into the Kang Dynasty. Or I mean, summer 2025 could be fucking the incursion of Doctor Strange. But also, I feel it could
Mm.
be. I mean, it could be Doctor Strange 3. It could be spring 2025. Who knows? I feel like Doctor Strange 3 will be one of these movies with Sam Raimi coming back to direct.
Mhm.
I just have a strong feeling that's one of those. If I could pick one of them, we
Mhm.
also have. I mean, Guardians. I feel like will be done after this for a while. I feel like Guardians will be taking a break. I don't know if they'll even be
Well, that
Avengers
and
and
they've already said that Guardians 3 is the end of the Guardians.
yeah, but at least as that team. Like I think he even said like Gunn said over the weekend, this is the um, end of the story, but that does not mean that all the characters die. Meaning,
Right.
some of these characters could continue. I think Drax could die. I think Rocket. Drax is a no-brainer because Batista's been
Yeah.
so loud about it.
Mhm.
Rocket's a no-brainer to die. I think
Well,
it's
the whole
possible.
story's about Rocket.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's possible he could totally die.
Yeah.
Also, he's an easy one to keep around though because he's a CGI character and it's just Bradley Cooper's voice.
Yeah.
Groot will not die. If he does die, he will be a different Groot later. I mean, I'm saying like he
Sure.
won't. He's someone you can keep around forever. It's Vin Diesel just say I am Groot forever. So I think
Well,
Chris Pratt could
I was
survive.
yeah, and, yeah, I think Star-Lord will survive. I was also reading into Secret Wars and some stuff that happens with Star-Lord and Groot, that I think would be really cool to carry over.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things you can do, and also the thing is, this is just the MCU. This is not
Mhm.
Sony talking about where Spider-Man fits into
Yeah.
this.
Yep.
You guarantee you there's going to be a Spider-Man 4 before Avengers: The
Mhm.
Kang Dynasty happens, and
Mhm.
I guarantee you that he's going to be in one or both of these movies. At least he'll be in Secret Wars, and it would not even phase me. I don't know how you don't have Toby and Andrew in Secret Wars. Also, I don't know how this movie's
Yeah.
not 4 hours long, and I also don't know how Avengers: Secret Wars is not Secret Wars Part One and Part Two. I don't know
And
how they.
I could s yeah, I know, as soon as I saw this, that's the first thing I was like, Donovan's gonna say, like, "This needs to be longer."
I mean,
It's
again,
gotta be a part 1 and part 2.
they're splitting it up here, and it feels like it's this. This is Infinity War and Endgame, right? What they're doing
Mhm.
here. I think
Mhm.
I think Kang Dynasty won't be a Infinity War situation where I don't think they'll lose. Obviously, they just did that. I think they'll beat Kang, but I do
Mhm.
think the incursion will happen at the very end. It's a big cliffhanger. Like the
Yeah.
worlds collide, Doctor Strange fails, shit starts going down. They wake up on Battleworld, credits. And Avengers Secret Wars is that movie, right?
Mhm.
That's what I think is going to happen. But and it's possible to do that in a 3 hour or so movie. But and again, Doctor Doom is going to be the big bad here. He's got to be. And Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
and don't he's gonna be in Black Panther kind of forever. He's
I
probably gonna
that's
appear.
yeah. I'm
He's gonna
hoping he
appear
appears
again.
in Black Panther.
He will. He's gonna appear again somewhere else before or after Fantastic Four. And I mean, again, I suspect I can't think of his name now. Jonathan Majors. I think he could be Doctor Doom. There's precedent in the comics where like Doctor Doom is a like Kang's from the future, right? It's like almost
Yeah.
like Kang is a descendant of Doctor Doom. So I think Doctor Doom could be our 616 Kang. And I think that he
Mm,
could it could be played by Jonathan Majors, but like he learns about his ancestors' role in the multiverse, whatever. And he's also like an alchemist, and he's got magic powers kind of thing. So I think
there's
he
still,
could.
like, looking into Secret Wars, I mean, there's moments where you can they're like separate characters though, because like, Kang dies, but Doom brings Kang back, and I don't know.
Well, they also got to think though. They got to simplify this stuff a little bit, and having
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors is an incredible actor. Having him as Doctor Doom is a smart idea, and it just kind of it solidifies again the ideas of variance, the idea of
Mhm.
keeping Kang the bad guy all the way to the end. And like it could be a great twist of like having Doctor Doom finally unveil himself and it be this guy Kang that we saw a year and a half ago from Ant-Man the Quantumania, and the guy
Yeah.
we saw in Loki as the He Who Remains. I think it's
Mhm.
just it feels simple, it feels simplified, and it feels like it keeps that Thanos level threat. Just I mean that's what happened with Thanos. Like we got
Yeah.
even though we fought Thanos in both movies, they are different Thanoses. It don't feel that way, but they are different.
But they are
The
different, yeah.
Yeah, Thanos dies in the beginning of Endgame. He gets killed by Thor, and the Thanos we get is essentially a variant of our Thanos. That's what
Right.
he is,
Yep.
right? He's coming in. He's not younger. He's only like 5 year difference, but he is
Mhm.
younger. But he's not like youthful. He's
Yeah.
just more ruthless. He's more like fuck it. I'll
Mhm.
burn the whole thing to the ground. A little less
Mhm.
philosophical, a little more world ending, a little more Joker. And
Mhm.
I think we keep prepping Doctor Doom throughout this whole time. We have him in Fantastic Four, blah blah blah. You kind of keep doing that. I mean, like again, he might not be in Fantastic Four, but also, how do you not? I feel like this is the equivalent to this. Thor one is Fantastic Four with Loki, and then Avengers one Loki is Avengers Doctor Doom now. Like Doctor Doom brings everybody together for Secret Wars kind of thing.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think that I'm telling you now, I'm
Mm.
planting a flag. July 25th, 2022. Doctor Doom's the bad guy of Secret Wars. There may be other bad guys. I mean, again, I
Yeah.
suspect we'll have. I mean, if you know the last Secret Wars comic that happened, it's wild. It's one of the best things they've done in a long time. Where like there is a wall, like a,
Mhm.
a Great Wall of China, and it separates like Battle World with the Marvel Zombies world. And
Mhm.
they're always trying to fight off the Marvel Zombies, and they announced a
Yeah.
Marvel Zombies TV show.
Yep.
That would be another way to bring that universe back together in like live action. Can you imagine live and we saw like a zombie Iron Man and Spider-Man 2.
Mhm.
I mean, like seeing like those kind of thing that there's an army of Thors with army of hammers. Doctor Doom's a
Mhm.
god, right? And I think
Mhm.
Reed will try to at the end of Kang Dynasty will try to like save people through an arc like as the
Mhm.
incursion's happening or something.
Yeah.
And they'll carry over into Secret Wars into Battle World and be like, okay, this isn't the world we're supposed to have. What do we do? I even suspect that Miles Morales will be in probably Spider-Man 4 in some way. He could,
Yeah.
I'm saying like, and he could be in Secret Wars as well. I mean, and also the Blacks. I mean, if you follow the comics,
Mhm.
in a Secret Wars event, Spider-Man become the Black Suit Spider-Man. I think that's going to
Mhm.
happen in his next solo movie.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen in Secret Wars, but I do think he could be wearing that suit in Secret Wars.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
do
no,
think we
that's a
could
big
get
part.
Venom. We could get Venom,
Yeah.
Tom Hardy in Secret Wars. But again, it also depends on how much Sony wants to play ball. And again, I don't know why
Yeah.
they wouldn't, because that's a case where you're going to prop up. Morbius and Venom and Kraven the Hunter and all their characters that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's like it's more spotlight and energy on their supposed universe they're building.
Right.
But I think that's the play. I think things are coming together, and it feels like we finally have a roadmap here of blah blah blah. But there's a lot of dates here missing, and that's
Yeah.
where I think some of these will be filled in. Not all of them, but some of them
Mhm.
will be filled in at D23 this year.
Oh, yeah. I feel D23, we are going to see casting announcements. So anything that's been shared now, they'll share the cast then
Yes.
and
Do
potentially
you-
fill in because the other big missing thing that a lot of people were hoping for was the mutants.
yes. Do you think that's a Phase 7 situation or
Yeah, I'm curious on that if they'll pull that into Phase 6 and the mutants will be some part of Secret War, or if that's just going to be the kickoff for Phase 7. It's going to be
I
one
just
of
don't know
those.
how you don't have Wolverine in Secret Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
and here's the thing, in the comics, the last Secret Wars thing brought in Old Man Logan.
Mm.
And you know who has played an Old Man Logan?
Oh yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
And also, we didn't even
Great.
talk about Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
It's
What
happening.
it's happening. Yep.
They just dropped Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan on Disney Plus over the weekend, right?
That they did. That
So
they did.
there is that's gonna be one of these flags, I believe, Deadpool 3. And also there could be more things happening that other the release dates that they didn't even put on
Yeah.
here. They could
Well,
just
well,
be fucking with us.
I know. Like Molecule Man. Like, could
There's Wonder Man, Molecule Man.
is he not a big part of Secret Wars?
Oh, I don't know, honestly. There's so many mans. I don't know
Yeah.
all of them. I don't remember. Those events are huge, man. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of characters happening, and sometimes they're just throwaway characters.
Yeah.
Maybe Molecule Man. I don't know. Is he an X Men? I don't know actually.
I don't know if he's I don't know much about him, but reading into Secret Wars, it seems like he's a key component because he can like there's like essentially like this overall power that he's able to transfer between people.
Hmm. Hmm. I need to look into him. Yeah, I don't know everything. And you also have people like Adam Warlock, and from Guardians 3, that's going to be
Yeah,
carried over to
which
their own.
there was a reveal for Adam Warlock,
Really, what was the reveal?
like to actually see like he was
They
on
showed him.
stage,
Really.
but they showed him. Yeah, like
Oh, I didn't
they
know
showed
that.
like an
That's awesome.
image. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. So there's a lot still here to digest. And also, like, where's Armor Wars at, right? Is that still happening? Like, I really want that
uh,
one to happen.
so there's a lot of talk about that, but, no, like they said, it is still happening. They didn't
Okay.
talk about it much, but it's still happening. There was al there was also circling back, to Phase 5, I saw a lot of rumors going around about Mahershala Ali dropping from Blade, but then this morning I saw, like, on his Instagram that he shared, like, the date announcement, so it seems like he is still gonna be Blade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why
He debunked that rumor, so, like, I don't know how that rumor started, but
yeah, well, I'm glad he did. I mean, like,
yeah.
the movie, I mean, that whole movie happened because he wanted it to happen. So I would be hard
Right.
pressed to think, I mean, and that he didn't want to continue with it. But yeah, I mean, here we go. We had the next 2 years mapped out, and or 3 years mapped out. November 2025, and we got 3 years until Secret Wars, and we'll see how what happens. Will Ben Affleck and Nicolas
Mhm.
Cage and Eric Bana's the Hulk, as you mentioned earlier, or will Toby come back? I mean, like, what the fuck is going to be this movie? Like, will
Yeah.
Chris Evans and whatever? I mean, again, I don't know. Fucking uh, Tom Cruise's Iron Man finally appear? Will Chris Evans come back as Hydra Cap? Will he be Old Man Cap? Like,
Yep.
there's so many possibilities here,
Mm.
and honestly, I don't. Maybe we'll build up our hopes again too much. I don't know,
Yeah.
but we'll see what happens. I feel like Avengers: Kang Dynasty will be big. It will be big and bad, and it will unite all these characters for the
Mhm.
first time, like this new Avengers group,
Mm.
and then
Yep.
they'll have to deal with all the old variants and all the old Avengers and everything else in Secret Wars. And
Mhm.
I think, don't quote me, I think they planted flags for beyond November 7th, 2025, didn't they?
That I
Maybe
don't
I'm
know.
wrong.
I don't know.
I think they did. So let's look. This last time we look up Phase 7 release dates. Yeah, for 2026, they already have dates for 2026. So yeah, February 13th, 2026, May 1st, July 24th, November 6th of 2026. So it's like they've already got 3 more days. So it's like clearly Secret Wars isn't the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though I would like it to be. Which is fine, right? We still have Goliathus to deal with. We still have some other big baddies out there that we can take care of.
Mhm.
So I do think that Secret Wars will hopefully smash the multiverse stuff. Like I think that after that, it should
Yeah.
make things simpler. We don't have to deal with
Mhm.
multiverse stuff anymore. We have a string of characters we're following. We're introducing new ones, and we can kind of forget that narrative for a little bit. But anyway, I'm excited. That's a lot to talk about. We've ran over time here. Um, but last thing we'll talk about is the Blu-ray releases that come out tomorrow. Of course, we have um, oh, that's wrong. Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. If you haven't seen it, it's on Disney Plus, but it also comes out tomorrow. There's a Target, Best Buy Steelbook, and of course a Walmart exclusive cover. We have Green Lantern: Beware My Power. There's Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar on Blu-ray, and also The Lost City, which I think it's already on Paramount Plus. I believe it could be Peacock,
Peacock.
but
It's
okay,
Peacock.
Peacock. And of course, the 4K re-releases tomorrow is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, The Killing, Species, Out of the Blue, Tenebrae, Thriller: A Cruel Picture, and Primal.
Mm.
So those all come out tomorrow as well on 4K Blu-ray if you haven't checked them out yet. Anyway, that's it for today's show. We talked a lot about Marvel and DC. We kind of didn't talk about all the other cool things that happened at San Diego Comic-Con, but we have plenty of time in the future to do that. So, Luke, how can our listeners find you again and all the cool things that you do?
Yeah, go any of the major podcast services. Just look up the Agents of Mace. We are Marvel's ace content enthusiast. Just wrapped up Miss Marvel. We'll be talking more about this week, and then in preparation for She-Hulk, we'll be talking about the Hulk, and we're also going to talk about the Incredible Hulk.
In 30 words or less, do you like Hulk, Ang Lee's Hulk?
I can't remember much about it. It's been
That should
so
tell you
long
everything
since
you
I've
know right
seen
there.
it.
It's kind of
So
an
I would,
abysmal movie, honestly.
yeah, I would say forgettable.
I do like the Incredible Hulk, though. I do like that movie a lot.
And I do like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, me too. It's underrated in my opinion for the MCU.
Agree.
And
Agree.
of course, if you haven't, you can always hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way, you find us on all the cool things we do. Again, we have 241 Joe live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central, unless we don't. And then we also have the podcast every week on all podcast services, Podcast 241, our website, 241studios.com, and then, of course, youtube.com/241studios. Again, this week we are talking The Prestige with Dr. Bruce Hutchinson, myself, and Daniel Wingfield, where we break it down on a script analysis level. And then I believe She Hulk starts relatively soon. There's a lot of other cool things we're going to talk about, so be on the lookout for all the podcasts. I think this week is episode 127, 28. So we've been doing a lot of
Nice.
podcasts. So we're still going strong on that one. Um, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, we'll catch you next week and see you guys later.